George Selwyn Marryat. George Selwyn Marryat, 20 June 1840 to 14 February 1896, was a country gentleman and British Angler most noted for his relationship with Fahrenheit. Halford, Francis and the development of dry fly fishing on the chalk streams of southern England. Upon his death in 1896, he became known as the Prince of Fly Fishers. Early life. He was born George Selwyn Marryat on 20 June 1840 at Shooton Glen in the New Forest, Hampshire, England. He was the eldest son of Lieutenant Colonel George Marryat (1806–1871) and Georgiana Charlotte née Selwyn Marryat (1816–1860). George was the nephew of Royal Navy officer and novelist Frederick Marryat. In 1854, Marryat's family moved to Mapperton Manor, Dorset. In Dorset, on the River Frome at Maiden Newton, young Marryat learned to fish with a wet fly. He attended Winchester College from 1854 to 1858. Upon leaving Winchester, George gained a commission as a cornet in the Carbineers on 16 March 1858. In October 1858, his regiment was posted to Meerut, India, to help quell the Indian Rebellion of 1857. The regiment returned to England in January 1862, and George was promoted, by purchase, to lieutenant. He sold his commission and resigned from the army in 1865. Marryat married Lucy Dorothy Clinton 1843 in St. George's, Hanover Square, London on 9 July 1872. They had 4 daughters: Mary Margaret, Dorothy Charlotte Edith, Juno Gladstone, and Alice Lucy. Alice died shortly before her first birthday. Marryats lived in Edinburgh, Scotland, for 2 years before moving to Shedfield, Hampshire. A fly angler. Above all, George Selwyn Marryat was the consummate fly fisherman of his time in England. He was an expert caster, an accomplished, but amateur, chalk stream entomologist, as well as a proficient and innovative fly tyer. The meeting. What is often referred to as the meeting that changed the course of fly fishing history occurred when George Marryat first met a young Frederick M. Halford in Hammond's fly shop in Winchester on 28 April 1879. From that introduction came 16 years of collaboration with Halford on all aspects of dry fly fishing the chalk streams of England. Development of the floating fly. Marryat wrote virtually nothing about the development of dry fly fishing at the time. However, he fished for over a decade at the side of Frederick Halford, and together they refined dry fly patterns into lighter, more realistic flies suitable for the equipment of the time. Marryat did share his patterns with Hammond's in London, and they made their way into the stocks of commercial flies of the time. In his second book, Dry Fly Fishing, Theory and Practice 1889, Halford acknowledged his debt to Marryat's innovation and tutelage in the dedication. 2 dry flies of the time designed by and named for Marryat are the Little Marryat and Marryat Quill. Death. In late January 1896, Marryat fell ill with influenza. Confined to his bed in his house at the Close, Salisbury, Marryat suffered a paralysing stroke that left him unconscious. He died on 14 February 1896. He is buried in the cloister garth of Salisbury Cathedral. Shortly after Marryat's death, Major W. G. Turrell, a close personal friend and noted angler C. Till Knott, wrote in a fishing gazette,